Most people think reincarnation means you come back and start over. The ancient Egyptians disagreed. They said you come back to continue. Here's what that actually means. The Kemetic tradition described the soul not as a thing of thing, but as a precise structure. The cut, the physical body, the ka, the life force, the double, the energetic template of who you are, the ba, the mission soul, the ip, the heart, the seed, and the accumulated wisdom across lives. And the Ren, the name that encodes your essential nature, the thing that was true about you before this body and will be true after it. What matters for what we are talking about is the Ba. The ancient Egyptians, well, they saw the Ba as a bird with a human face. A bird not because they are wearing poetic, because the Ba moves. It has literally wings. It is the part of you that travels, that carries the unfinished work from one life into the next. This is the mechanism. Not karma as punishment, not contracts as a predetermined script. It is what reincarnation truly is. The Ba, your living intelligence that knows what it came to do and keeps returning until it has done it. And the Ip, the heart, is where that knowing lives. This is why certain things feel like memory to you. This is why certain purposes feel like recognition. The Ip already knows, your heart already knows. It has always known. What changes across lifetimes is your capacity to hear it. The Kemetic tradition makes 3 observations about the soul's journey across lives. I'm going to give you all 3 because together they answer the question most people cannot answer about themselves. You are not starting over. You are continuing. The Kemetic worldview did not understand death as an ending. It understood it as a transition between phases of the same mission. The Book of Coming Forth by Day, what the modern world calls the Egyptian Book of the Dead, is therefore not, as it is often described, a manual for the afterlife. It is a navigation manual for the soul in between lives. A guide for the Ba as it moves from one phase of its work to the next. The tradition was very precise about this. What you accomplished in one life is not erased at death. It is carried forward in the Ba, in your soul's mission. What you failed to complete is also carried forward. Not as punishment, as unfinished work. This means that the skills that came to you too easy, the things you knew without being sought, are not talent. They are the accumulated work of previous soul missions, of your previous lives, if you will, and the pattern that keep recurring in your life, the same dynamic in different forms. This is not bad luck. They are the specific places where the Ba has not yet found its completion. Which leads directly to point 2. The Ip, the heart, knows before the mind does. The Kemetic tradition places enormous emphasis on the ib, the heart. It is the famous weighting of the heart ceremony, the image you see throughout Egyptian sacred architecture. The heart is weighted against the feather of Maat. The modern interpretation of this image is usually moral, a judgment of whether you were good or bad. The Kemetic understanding was more precise than this. The ib, the heart, was understood as the accumulated wisdom of the soul across lifetimes. Not emotion, not morality alone. The record of everything the Ba has learned, carried, and is still carrying. When the heart is heavy, when the ib carries unsolved weight, it is not because you have been immoral. It is because the Ba has not yet found the expression in this lifetime that it needs to have. The sense of urgency you feel, the feeling that there is something you are supposed to be doing and you have not quite found it yet. It is not anxiety. It is the ib, the accumulated knowing of the soul, pressing towards its next expression. This is why the question, what is my purpose, feels so different from other questions. It is not a question the mind can answer. It is a question the heart already knows the answer to, and your heart is waiting for you to catch up with it. And the point 3, this is the one that changes how you read everything happening in your life right now. The life is a continuation. It's not a beginning. It's not an end. The Kemetic tradition understood that the soul return is a return with precision. Each life is not a fresh start. It is a refinement. The Ba returns with a more specific expression of its mission. It's more distinct, it's more particular, less willing to compromise on what it came to do. You can probably feel that. This is why the sense of mission tends to become less negotiable as you get older. Not because you are becoming rigid, because the Ba is becoming more itself. The tradition also described something they called Mat Keru, the true voice, the voice that arises when the Ba and the ib are in alignment. When what the soul came to do and what the heart already knows are being expressed through the life. The ancient texts say the person who speaks Mat Keru does not need to search for purpose. The person is at peace because they have become the purpose. And the path to that is in the Kemetic understanding, not meditation or regression or another retreat. It is the ongoing removal of what the tradition called Isfet, the inner disorder, the accumulated noise that prevents the Ba from being heard. Not spiritual work for its own sake. Work in service of the specific mission the Ba carried into the life. Let me bring that together for you. The Ba is the mission quality of your soul. It travels across lives. It carries the unfinished work forward. The ib, the heart, holds the accumulated wisdom of those lives. it already knows what the Ba came to do. And the sense of purpose that feels like recognition, a mission that is too specific and too persistent to be invented, where it is not self-importance and it's not given from the outside. It is the Ba pressing towards its next expression. But here is what I have not told you yet. The part about what happens when you actually align with it. Because the Kemetic tradition was not simply describing a mechanism, it was describing a responsibility. The tradition did not describe reincarnation as something that happens to you. It described it as something you are participate in. The Ba does not return randomly, it returns with intention, with the specific unfinished work that this particular constellation of circumstances, your body, your family, this time in history, all this makes it uniquely positioned in order for you to complete the mission. This means that your life is not a search, it is a mission in progress. And when you begin to understand it that way, something changes. You come to peace. The things that have felt like obstacles begin to look like the specific resistances the Ba needs to move through in order to become what it came to be. The skills that came too easy become the tools. The patterns that keep recurring become the curriculum. You start to see that then. And the people who arrived at actually the right and wrong moments in your life, they become the cast of a story that has been unfolding across more time than this life contains. You are not at the beginning of something. You are somewhere in the middle. And the question is not, well, what is my purpose? The question is, how much of what the Ba already knows am I willing to hear? I have worked with these frameworks for more than 20 years. What I have found is that the people who engage with them seriously, not as belief systems, but as precision tools, they do not find purpose. They recognize it. They remember. That is a very powerful difference. Finding implies it was lost. Recognizing implies it was always there, waiting for the noise to clear enough to hear it. The Kemetic tradition is one of the three ancient traditions that I work with in my teachings. Each one describes the soul's mission from a different angle. Together they form something complete. The next step is in the description, and in the next video I want to look at the specific signals that tell you when the Ba, when your soul mission is in alignment with what you do. Not spiritual feelings, structural signals, the kind the tradition taught you to read before the mind interprets them away. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like the content, and I see you in the next video. My name is Nikki Sabeti, and there is a link in the description where you find a discernment tool. It is free it gives you some structural insight in the teachings we have discussed today.